Hey, what is up, spiritual hooligan? So if we're infinite beings, a soul, why the heck would we come to Earth and experience all of this suffering and BS? I've been pondering questions like this for 25 years with thousands of my coaching clients, and I have two answers for you today that I believe can put your mind at ease and restore your peace. My name is Matthew Ferry, and I'm bringing you your daily enlightenment. It's your moment to slow down, to pause, to get connected to enlightened perspectives. I want to help you to restore your peace and quiet your mind. And we're going to do that by taking a deep breath in. So let's do that now. Hold your breath. Close your eyes for a moment if you can. If it's appropriate. If it's not, then don't worry about it. But just keep taking long, slow, deep breaths and hold them with me here. Together, let's get all the stresses and all the concerns of daily survival consciousness out of here. And we'll do that by setting our intention for enlightened consciousness to flow through. So take another deep breath in and hold it and focus with me. Repeat these words. Please set the intention for enlightened consciousness to flow through. To experience the purity of my own consciousness. To know that all is well. To embrace life, people, and circumstances exactly as they are. Please set the intention to release my need for things to be different, to practice total and complete acceptance of all people in all situations at all times, including myself. Take a deep breath in. Connect with this idea that all is well. That is the foundation of enlightenment. All is well. When you're there, it's easy to be at peace. And all is well is just a perspective. It's not true. It's not false. You get to decide if all is well, which is amazing. And that's what it means to be in an enlightened state. It's this ability to choose, to know that all is well, no matter what is happening in the world. So take another deep breath in with me, and let me tell you about this question that a fellow spiritual hooligan asked me, and I wanted to read it to you here. So I'm just going to read what she wrote. She said, "Hey Matthew, Kristen, and fellow hooligans, I had a thought last night. I was thinking about judging and feeling my reluctance to give it up, to stop judging. And so what do? I just let it go? I just let it out?" She says, "Well, sometimes I actually like it." And then, no doubt, to justify my stubbornness on this, I came up with this question, and here's what she says. If we are spiritual beings having a human experience, why is it that we are wanting to have a spiritual experience with this physical dualistic reality? She goes on to say, "My first thought was that there can be some fun in drama. Choosing this physical experience, we know what we're getting ourselves into. So is that not the game that we're anticipating with eagerness?" She says, "My answer to myself might be that once we're here, then maybe we decide to up our game, simply because there would be a higher degree of difficulty in this place of duality, and maybe that would be fun. If that is so," she says, "is it just for fun, or is it with intention or purpose? And does purpose presume good, bad, better, best?" She finally says, "If this physical reality ever reaches the space of all beings being enlightened, then would the game/purpose cease to be?" And I said, this is a very important question. Essentially, why would a spiritual being, a soul like you, come to Earth and participate in suffering, judgment, pain, and all the BS? So I want you to take a deep breath in with me, and I want you to hold it, because I'm going to give you two answers here. Two ways that you can think about this with the objective of helping you to get into a greater state of peace of mind. The first is an enlightened set of perspectives. And I want to share this with you. And it comes literally from my book, Quiet Mind, Epic Life. Let's say, here's the drunk monkey mug. Quiet Mind, Epic Life, my book. And in there, I have an entire chapter on enlightened perspectives. And I want to share some of those with you. In fact, I'm going to get Kristen to come in here and we're going to do some muscle testing for you. But remember that none of the things that I'm going to tell you about are true. But here's the thing. None of the things you believe on the subjects that I'm about to bring up are true either. They're not true or false or real or provable. They live in the realm of dogma and myth. But that doesn't stop you from making up stories and defending your unprovable reality like it's true. And I wonder if the reality that you're choosing strengthens you or it weakens you. And that's an experiment that I did in my life. I literally did this experiment after doing thousands of muscle tests and getting the same results over and over and over. I decided to experiment with doing what went strong. And the results have been spectacular. My mind has become pristinely quiet. I don't have negative thinking anymore. I am not susceptible to guilt and obligation and negativity and the burdens of thinking that I might fail and what will people think. And that doesn't mean that I'm an irrational, irresponsible human being. In fact, what happens when your mind goes completely quiet is the exact opposite. You're more rational and reasonable and effective than you've ever been before because you're not burdened by the BS of the mind. So let me do this. I want to grab Kristen real quick and I want to bring her in here and I want to show you a few muscle tests that will help you to go into a state of peace with incarnating as a human being here on earth. Let me grab her. Hey, guess what? We got her. So we're going to do a couple of tests, and the important thing to know is the tests are really designed to create an empowering context by showing you what is strengthening. So we're going to do a couple of tests here. Let's go ahead and we'll start off with love, resist, and then hate, resist. So hate, we can see, weakens you. And then I am a soul, resist. Kristen is a soul, resist. Our viewer is a soul, resist. Kristen, Matthew, our viewer are just matter with no soul, resist. So this is a weakening thought, even though she tried to keep that up just for you, okay? So it weakens you to think, let's put the arm down for a second. It weakens you to think that you are just matter and that matter has no soul. It strengthens you to believe or think that you have a soul, which doesn't mean it's true. Just it strengthens you. That's it. So what we took on was, what happens if you just do the stuff that goes strong? Yeah. And the result, mind-blowing. Okay,
yeah, game changer.
Game changer. Here we go. So check this out. The soul is infinite, resist. The soul is finite, resist. So infinite is a strengthening idea. Finite is a weakening idea. So you want to begin to contextualize and say, okay, here I am, I'm on earth. Why did I come to earth? And then it's all of this suffering. What was that all about? And you want to start to put it together. Like, if you're a soul, suffering is just as good as having a good time. So let's just test that. That positive experiences and negative experiences are equally valued to the soul. Resist. Negative experiences are negative to the soul. Resist. So it's a weakening idea.
Yeah.
It weakens you to relate to it like negative is negative. Instead, negative is an experience. Watch. The purpose of life or incarnating as a human being is to learn lessons. Resist. Do it. Keep it up. But she can't.
Ow.
You okay?
Yeah.
She always tries, just so you know, she always tries to have that one be strong every single time. And it always goes weak every single time.
It's because I used to live my life that way.
Yeah, well, most of us did because we were indoctrinated into a New Age philosophy, and the New Age philosophy was intuited. And, you know, the idea of learning lessons is an expression of a Buddhist or Hindu thought that you're going to suffer. You know, Buddha basically said, okay, how do we get out of the suffering? I want to get out of the suffering. And ultimately he concluded that you keep coming back and then you keep learning lessons until you don't suffer anymore. And the idea itself actually doesn't strengthen you. I wish it did.
It's a great idea, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not bad.
It has incredible merit.
You want to learn. I want to learn. Most people don't want to learn.
I know.
You want to learn. I want to learn. Our viewer wants to learn.
I understand.
Most people don't want to learn. They don't want to learn stuff. They're just like, I just want to eat. I want to get food. I want to hang out. That's us, right? So they're just living. You're like the creative, forward-moving expression. Get over it. Okay, here we go. Then get over it now. The soul chooses to come to earth and incarnate as a human being. Resist. Being born is random. Resist. It's a strengthening idea to relate to yourself like you chose to come to earth. It's a weakening idea to think that you are here through randomness. So the reason that I wanted to do those muscle tests with you was to have you start to think in terms of, wait a second, maybe the suffering is fun. Watch this. Coming to earth is like taking a vacation for the soul. Resist. Now, I remember the first time I muscle tested that, I was like, what does that mean? Yeah. And we just can make things up, right? We don't know what it means. The whole thing is context. That's it. So what if you were on vacation and the vacation that you were having included suffering and happiness and good times and bad times and the whole buffet? What happens to your experience of life when you relate to it like, I'm on vacation and I chose this? It changes your perspective. Your mind starts to go quiet because you're not in a survival mode. I think that's all we got to do with them.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Boom. All right. I'm going to come back to you. She's going to get out of here.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Later.
See ya.
Okay, we're back. So none of those perspectives are true. They all live in the realm of unprovable, made-up stories, dogma, figments of our imagination. But like I said, that doesn't stop you from making up your own stories and believing them. But I request that you test what happens when you live your life like those statements are true. That's part of my rapid enlightenment process, is actually piercing through the veil of denial and doing things that are strengthening versus doing things that are weakening and seeing what happens. An experiment. I'm not saying that it's going to work for you. That's one perspective that I've shared. Now, I want you to take a deep breath in again, please. Hold your breath. Let's go with the second thing that I wanted to share with you, which is there is a background field of energy and information that we call the quantum field. And that quantum field is organizing itself into everything that you experience. You're not organizing the quirks, the atoms, the molecules, the cells. You're not doing any of that. They're all collaborating, participating, and organizing themselves into everything that you are and everything that you experience. And there are many different aspects of that field that are human beings. Many, many, many different types of human beings. A huge, wide variety of uniqueness. Yet they're all on a basic theme. You and I are one particular theme. We are the evolutionary answer to the question, what do you do when survival is no longer at stake? That's you. You are the evolutionary answer to what do you do when survival is already handled. Now what? And I propose that the answer to that question is optimize the experience of life. And that's what enlightenment is. See, versions of us have been coming through over and over and over and over. We see this in all of our mentors and our leaders and the gurus that we've studied and the avatars that we've been so devoted to. We see that this self-optimizing, inner optimization part of humanity has been coming through over and over and over. But this is our time. This is your time. So when you say that you're judging, when you're being snarky, when you're complaining, when you don't want to be enlightened, all there is to do is to recognize, some of that legacy information around survival is coming through. Because when I'm being snarky, when I'm being judgy, when I'm being negative, all that's just a survival process. So all I want you to do is smile. Do it with me now, smile. And I want you to think, that's an old part of my soul that still thinks that we are in a survival state. And then simply say, please set the intention for enlightened consciousness to flow through, to experience the purity of my own consciousness, to cast out any expression of consciousness not fully my own. Release survival consciousness. Embrace enlightened consciousness. Okay, so I got a question for you. What part of survival consciousness, what part of negativity and suffering do you want to give up today? What is a new enlightened perspective that you want to replace it with? Will you put it in the comments for me? Will you let me know what you're going to practice? Because I'll get into the practice with you. I'll get in there and coach you and help you to optimize your language. And then do me a favor. Share this video with other spiritual hooligans who are struggling to be at peace in this world, will you? My name is Matthew Ferry, author of Quiet Mind, Epic Life. Make sure you like the video, share the video, leave me a comment. That's the stuff that tells YouTube, hey, other people should be watching this. So your like and your share and your comments, they mean a lot to me. But it actually makes a difference in the world because YouTube will serve this video up to more people like you if you do those things. Now, if you dig what I'm saying, subscribe to my channel. You'll get all my videos. And I really encourage you to leave me a comment, okay? I really do. Tell me what you're going to give up. Let me help coach you into the language here that will get you into that thriving state. You could also join us in the Spiritual Hooligan Facebook group. There's a bunch of us. We're all together. We're all hanging out. We're essentially taking on these kinds of conversations on a daily basis with each other. We'd love for you to be there with us. I'll put the link below. Thanks again for tuning into this daily enlightenment.